really encapsulates a lot of what we do here in this office. And Mark Hyman has done a great job with that. But he had just finished reading this book, Healthy Metabolism. I recommended to him. He says, "Doc, all the things you've been telling me, it finally makes sense." And I was slightly offended. But I'm absolutely thrilled because he's putting it together, and he put together a step-by-step process. He says, I started with my coffee. I reduced it from 6 cups a day to 1 cup a day, and he stopped putting the cream and sugar in it. I can only imagine the amount of calories he's reducing right there, right? As well as the adrenal, salt, and kidney, and who knows what else. And he's going to start moving more towards whole foods, and he's really, really excited. He made his wife read it, and she's excited too, luckily, and they're going to get on track with it. How I got to that from medications, I don't know, but medications, I feel, is a major problem, and we need to do something about it. Let's just pick, for example, antibiotics. Antibiotics save lives, right? But they're also overutilized, right? We know that. For example, the common ear infection, depending what study that you read, but between 93 and 97% of ear infections tend to be viral, yet antibiotics are very often utilized, I feel, to placate or placate the patient, so that they walk out of the office with something in their hands. It's doing the patient a disservice because most of them are viral. And what did we just do? We altered the gut environment, didn't we? We just changed the good flora, the good bacteria, and that changes digestion. And we could set that poor patient up later on for a lifetime of obesity. Now, I'm drawing a pretty extreme line here, but it's only to make the point, especially with repeat antibiotics, that could contribute to obesity. So that's just one example.
Doc?
Yeah?
Do the medications make you think by any chance that, we have had prolonged our lifespan through medication? And really, in the long term, we're going to shorten our lifespan again through the medication?
Yeah, especially since the 1940s when antibiotics came out. Obviously, against infectious diseases, it made a huge inroad. I personally feel that hygiene is actually even a greater contributor to our lifespan. It's also estimated now that the generation that's been born in the last 5 years and from here on out is going to be the first generation in history, with major wars excluded, that is going to live less long than a generation before it. So we do expect that longevity is going to be on a decline if current trends hold. Yeah, no question about it. So our water sources are contaminated. Luckily, Dr. Stacey explained to us ways that we can combat that. Do not drink water out of plastic bottles. Okay. So health syndromes that really affect weight. And with weight, I'm using this very general. I'm using, because weight and weight and weight can be different. One gal at 180 pounds can be very fit and muscular, whereas another gal at 110 pounds could be very fat. We call that skinny fat. Yeah? No muscle, fat only. Amazing how many of those we see, actually. So both the skinny fat has less health potential than the 180 pounder, which is all muscle. So do note that we just are using the word weight loosely there. But one of the top health syndromes, what's really under attack in today's society, is the PTA axis, pituitary, thyroid, adrenal. That's what that stands for. Our adrenals are so stressed. And everybody says, yeah, stress, there's lots of stress. Society is accelerating and we got so many things to do in Christmas shopping. That is a stressor, yes. But I'm talking especially about stress from toxins, from how we eat, how quick we eat. Physical stressors are a stressor also and really affects the adrenals in a huge way. So the adrenals and thyroid work together. Yeah, that's why this is called systems biology. That's the European word for functional medicine, by the way, systems biology. Because everything works together in systems. I like that word. Systems biology explains to you how the pituitary, thyroid, and adrenals really are one unit. They talk together. So when adrenals are stressed, eventually it'll stress your thyroid, and most of us know that when the thyroid gets stressed, weight goes goofy. Stress is huge. Initially, by the way, when you get stressed, you might lose weight because things get overstimulated, but eventually you get burnout. So important to keep that in mind. Gut health. Your gut, I think I've discussed that one enough, but I'll just, well, why don't I hit it with one more other thing. There are so many cases of Crohn's that we see, and we see them from all over. Crohn's, irritable bowel, ulcerative colitis, you know, that whole family. It is amazing what you can do just by switching to a whole food diet. Make sure you give them adequate digestive enzymes and take away offending agents. For some of them, a lot of them, it's gluten. Dairy can be an offending agent. For others, it's other goofy things that you never thought of. I have one patient who seems like we did a food sensitivity test on him, and most vegetables he's very sensitive to. He was delighted. You do come across these goofy cases, but most of them it's gluten and or dairy, soy, citrus, nuts, those types of things. Corn. And talk about corn, that jumps to something, because corn syrup is really very much behind this whole wave of obesity. Corn syrup, I'll just say this about it, is about 5 times as bad as sugar, as its effect on the body. It does not affect our satiety hormone. It's a problem. Satiety means feeling full. It gives you the munchies, just like NutraSweet and artificial sweeteners do. It gives you the munchies. It's a major contributor to our obesity problems today, folks. Corn syrup and also artificial sweeteners. I'd much rather, if you're given a diet pop versus a regular pop with real sugar in it, get those in Canada.
Or in the Asian food aisle, or no, the Mexican aisle. And
yes. And Cost Plus has it in their Italian sodas. So in either case, I have kids, so we do have to shop these things once in a while. But in either case, the artificial sweetener is just so bad for you. And then corn syrup is right there behind it. Try to stay away from it. It causes inflammation. So food sensitivities, allergies affect gut health, inflammation. It really is one unit. It really is one unit. And inflammation is really ultimately what kills us, isn't it? It attacks our arteries. Inflammation can damage our DNA, which can contribute to certain cancers, can't it? Inflammation attacks our joints. It attacks our skin. These little lines, these furrows in through here, that is a stress within the body due to inflammation, oxidative stress, destroying the material underneath the skin, causing the wrinkle lines. So inflammation is present in all of us. The question is how much? And what are you doing to minimize it? Hormone imbalance, this is huge. I find it more in women than in men, although men are definitely not excluded. Males right now, by the way, those in their 30s are in an epidemic of infertility, just absolute epidemic. It's happening in just the last 5 years. And we do think, we don't know for sure yet, we do think that plastics are behind it. Yeah, we do think. It's still a little loose, so don't quote me on that one yet, but I do feel that that's probably going to be proven right, along with many other things like usual. But hormone imbalance for women, wow, what an effect it has. And women, when they're stressed, their hormones are going to be so off, because adrenals are responsible for hormone metabolism. When the liver are assaulted, hormones go to the liver to be metabolized. They go there to die. The active has to be changed to inactive. Happens in the liver. It's called methylation. When that's not happening, then you get byproducts from the hormones called 3,4-quinones. 3,4-quinones are very toxic, very pro-cancerous, causes PMS. And these toxic compounds have to go into your fat cells. Yeah? Estrogen dominance equals those big thunder thighs. That's estrogen dominance. Yeah? Insulin resistance is more over here. Insulin is also a hormone. And that is going to be covered down through here. Emotional health, I sort of talked about that already.